What's up YouTube, it's Taco Twans here, welcome back to our channel. As you guys can see here, we have another Tacoma at our shop. And shout out to DJ Marvel, DJ for the Colorado Rockies, for bringing his truck out here to let us put some new stuff on it. Today we're going to be doing a light bar. It's called a behind the bumper light bar. So it's going to go right here where this black strip is. And then we might be putting on some fog lights on here as well. But first we're going to show you guys how to do the bracket and everything for the light bar, and then we'll get it all wired up and see what it looks like. Alright, so these are going to be the brackets that we're going to be using for the light bar. So our R4T brackets, and we're going to have two different kinds of light bars that are compatible with this bracket. The first one, and the one that we are going to be using for this truck here, is the Cali Raised light bar. It's a 32-inch, white obviously. And your second option here is the Baja Designs. It's going to be the same size, and this one is amber. And reason why you would want to choose amber over white is the amber cuts through like dust and everything a lot better than the white does. Of course, two different price options as well, but for the purpose of this video, we are going to be installing the Cali Raised one. So first thing you're going to want to do is we're going to remove this grill here, which we have done way too many times on all of our trucks, so you guys probably already know how to do this. 2 clips, 2 screws, done. This is a 2016 or 17, so it does not have the TSS. You don't have to unclip that, but we do have some lights we need to disconnect. So once you got those 4 on the top, just kind of want to pull it towards you. There you go. Alright, so these are all his lighting and camera wiring accessories. We're just going to leave that aside and work with this here. These 2 plastic pieces are going to have to come off. So there's a clip right here. So you just want to pry, there's like 2 flat sides. Stick your flathead in there, just like any other clip. Pop it up and it'll come out. Okay. Alright, so there is a clip up here attached to the frame and one at the bottom. Just want to try to stick your finger back there and push the that little tab in, and then just, there you go. That's the tab. When you stick your finger back here, just try to push one of these clips like in, and then you can try to wiggle it out. Same for the bottom. You see right there, that is the only thing you need to remove the plastic piece from. And then you're going to try to find an opening to pull this out of. Voila. So this was the bottom piece. You're just going to pull it out of the frame and then wiggle it out. Top clip that goes into the frame. Just want to pinch one of them in and pull out. So after removing the 2 plastic side pieces, we're going to go down here. There are 2 nuts that we need to remove from the Crossmember. Right here. And we already took out one side over here. Now we're going to work on this side. We'll remove that nut, and then we can get the bracket in there. Guys, so inside the box with the bracket here, there's going to be 2 bags of hardware, small tiny bags. This is one set, this is the other set. So the one with the 2 washers and the 2 Allen bolts and 2 locking washers. It's going to be for your light bar to bracket hardware. And the other set here, you're going to have 2 nuts, 4 washers, and 2 of the Allen bolts. That's going to be for you to bolt on your bracket to the truck itself. So let's do that right now. So what you want to do is you're going to want to put on the driver side bracket first. We're going to put that on, and then we're going to leave the passenger bracket off until after we slide the light bar in, because you're gonna, if you do both the brackets first, you're gonna run into the problem of the light bar hitting this, and you can't push the light bar down without damaging it. So we're gonna do this one side first and show you guys step by step what you need to do. So before we do that, so you guys can see that our shop lights are pretty bright here, but inside here we don't have any light projecting in there. So we got this pretty awesome product. It is from Claymore, and Ben over at Claymore sent us a bunch of samples, different kinds of lights. This one here is a clip-on to your hat, and you could also adjust the light after you clip it onto your hat, and these are pretty bright. Look at that. So it's going to be super useful for those of you working on your car and you need both your hands and you don't have anyone holding a flashlight for you. So this is how it goes. This clip here, you're just going to clip into your hat like so. And then you can also adjust the light adjustment like this. And then you just push of a button and adjust your light. Look at that. You have both hands to work on whatever you need to and still have light shining directly where your eyes are looking. So super awesome. All right, so these brackets are labeled D for driver and P for passenger. We're going to take the driver side, slide it down, and with that bottom hole here, you're going to line it up with the Crossmember bolt like that. And up here, right there, you can see there's another hole. That's where you're going to use the hardware that's provided to you with the bracket. This is the hardware. It's going to go bolt washer going through the bracket like this, and on the other side it's going to go washer nut. So washer nut, and then you're going to take your nut from the Crossmember, just hand tighten that in there. Don't tighten anything down yet. We need to wiggle stuff around still. All right, at this point, you're gonna want to, there's 2 bolts down here, as you can see. One's gonna be right here, and one's gonna be right here. Thank God for this Claymore. But we're gonna loosen the, or we're gonna take those completely out, and we're gonna push this bar backwards so we can slide the light bar in through here and up to here. All right. So it's going to be a 12 millimeter, and you want to get an extension and take those out. That's what they look like. Once you have those 2 bolts out, just kind of push this back a little bit like that, and that should give you enough room to slide your light bar through. So for the light bar, we're gonna have to run a harness with the button through the firewall. So you want this, the side with the wire, closer to your driver's side, not this way, or else you're gonna have to go a longer distance to get to the firewall. So just like this, I'm gonna hold the wire behind this and just tuck it in through the passenger side and down. Like so. And if you guys see over here, this is why you don't want to put on that other bracket yet, because you've got a pretty close distance before you hit it. Alright, we're going to set that light bar right there. We're going to pull this back into spot, line it up with the holes, and then we're going to put these bolts back in because we don't need to move that anymore. Alright, so Once you've got the light bar in there, now we can put on the passenger side bracket the same way we put on the other bracket. Slide it down into that cross member bolt, line it up with this hole up here, bolt washer, washer nut. Cross member nut. The hardware provided here, we're gonna go with the Allen bolt, locking washer, and then washer through the bracket this way towards the light, and then thread in the light. The Cali Raised one does come with a little rubber piece here that will go in between your bracket and the light bar if you choose to use it. Our Baja one does not come with it, so we're not going to use it just for the purpose of making it a little bit similar installation. Alright, we're going to go through there's a slot right here. You're going to put that in here. The light bar, bring it up a tad, and we will screw that in. Don't have to tighten it yet. We're going to get the other side on and then we'll adjust it. So on this side, do the same thing, locking washer and washer, put it through the bracket, bring the light bar up and thread it through the hole there. Okay. Alright, so once you have both of those bolts into the light bar, you don't have to tighten it all the way. So since the bracket here has such a big slot, you can slide this light bar. Look how much movement you have. You can slide it back and forth and kind of adjust it to where you like it to be. But the position of the bracket pretty much puts the light bar exactly where you want it. So before tightening it down, you just want to adjust the projection. If you want it more up or more down, make sure you want it where it is, and make sure it's centered, and hold that in place before you tighten down the two bolts that go into the light bar. Alright, so the first thing you want to tighten is the projection of the light bar. So you want to center the light bar straight, or if you'd like it a little down, but we're going to do it straight like that. You're going to hold it there and then tighten that down first before you adjust the up and down motion of the light bar. Alright, so you're just going to take your Allen wrench and go through the side here where that bolt is on the light, and we're going to start tightening it down. Alright, once you've got the light aiming where you want it and you've gotten those bolts tightened down, we're going to adjust the up and down motion of the light bar by moving the light bar up and down on the bracket. As you can see, it will go up and down here. So you want to adjust it to where you want it and then tighten it down. You're going to need a maybe we're using a crescent wrench to hold that bolt down in the back there while we tighten the front with an Allen wrench. So just hold that there, grab your Allen wrench and tighten this. Once you've got that tightened, you also want to tighten down the bolt that's on the cross member. That is your 14. Because this also has a slot as well. Alright guys, so since we've got the grill off and we're putting in that light bar, we got some access to the fog light right here. So we're actually going to change out the stock fog lights with these. They are black housing, LED with the projector, and as you can see with the projector line, it has a clean cutoff line, and they're yeah, black housing plug and play LEDs. So we're gonna change out the stock one. As you can see, the stock one is just chrome, too much chrome going on. So we're gonna switch these out. It just plugs right in, and it'll look a lot better with the black housing. So we're gonna do that right now really quick. It should be a pretty easy install since we've got access to the back here. So we're gonna remove the OEM fog light right now. It's just one screw that you need to get to. So if you go through here with a screwdriver, you can actually see from the back where the screw is. Okay, so there's just that one screw that you need to take off. And you don't want to lose it. So, grab that screw, just that. And then, you should be able to just, there's two slots that this sits on. These two slots, they just slide into the the bumper. Yeah, the bumper has two slots for you to slide these two into. So slide in like this, and then the screw. We've done this before in the Foreigner. If you guys see that install, it's the same exact thing. Slides in like that, screw goes in like this. So you just gotta take the screw off and then slide it out like that. Here you go. So this is the this one is also marked top left. So you're gonna slide these two into that slot, put the screw in, and it's a plug and play harness. Here we go. Okay, then we get that screw through. Alright, so as you can see with this truck here, he actually has a LED bulb on his OEM fog light with no projector. So this will work, it'll be bright, but it's gonna shoot light everywhere, scatter light everywhere in front of you. So with this, the projector on this fog light housing, you're gonna get that clean cutoff line. So the light is focused rather than scattered everywhere. So as you can see, the OEM harness here, we're just gonna plug it into that other harness. So this is the OEM harness, and this is the fog light that we just installed. It's just straight up plug and play, just like that. And let's test it out to see if it works first. Okay.
Super bright.
So super simple. Literally, once you have access to this part right here where the plastic cover used to be, you have a huge hole right here where you can just unplug the OEM one, plug in the new one. And if you guys come over here, we'll show you the difference. Chrome over there. And over here, now it's black housing. It blends with the black trim, and the black trim of the bumper looks real sleek and clean. And it's actually really functional as a fog light as well. So now we're gonna do the other side, and then we're gonna run the wire for the light bar and put back the grill, and we're done. Alright, so since we showed you guys two options for light bars, we're gonna show you two options for the fog lights as well. So we already installed that first option with the OEM look. The second option you can go with is the Baja Designs fog pockets, and these are made for Tacomas where it'll sit in there. So the Baja fog pocket here has this bezel, and this bezel sits perfectly in. As you can see, the mold here, it's the same layout as that. That way it doesn't have like a little gap right here. and it just sits perfect like that. It's flush, goes along the trim, and yeah, this is also plug and play as well. So this harness will plug straight into the OEM one, and it works the same way as the one we just installed. So yeah, two different options. One Baja, other one is OEM style. But we are going to put the OEM style onto this truck. So we're going to continue with our install here. We just took out the stock. And this is the OEM style one, black housing LED. You see the difference there. Alright, so the Cali Raised light bar here will come with the harness, plug and play. Just plug it in there, and this is the button for it. You can change out the button if you like, but it comes with everything that you need to power it. The Baja Designs light bar will not come with a harness. You will need to order that separately. But since we are doing the Cali Raised one, we have a harness. We're going to run it through the firewall and power it up. Alright, so one end of the light bar, you had a wire coming out, and then we're going to connect the harness into this light bar, and then this part so we've got a ground and power. We're going to connect to the battery. Got a relay, and this end we're going to run into the firewall to the other side, power to the switch. Alright, we're going to take this entire bundle here and we're going to go into this hole here where the bracket is and the bumper. Don't go in there. Go in here. This is the best way to tuck your wires to where nothing is sticking out. And go all the way up to here and pull that all through. There you go. And you can't see any wire in the front part. This we'll deal with later. So you got this coming up here. We can do all the ground and power and relay stuff. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get this wire into the firewall. And since this is a pretty big end, we might have to make a bigger hole in that rubber piece. Alright, so after making a hole into that firewall, taped it to a flathead, and we're just going to push that through. Alright, so once on the other end, when your flathead goes through with this, you can remove the flathead or pull it out of the tape on that end, and you're left with this here. We will play with this later. On this side, we can now start hooking everything up since we've got the other side through. So we can do battery. We can do power and ground right on the battery terminal. So we're gonna undo the power on the battery, the red, and I'm gonna put the red on there, just right on the top, since he has other accessories sitting there already, just like this. Tighten it back up. Okay, we're gonna ground the wire here. So we ran this all the way up to where the buttons are here, and he has a switch that he wants to use here, but we don't know which one he wants to power it with. So we're just gonna leave this right here for him to decide which slot he wants it in, and then which power he wants to run it with. We'll let him do that part by himself. So for now, we'll just leave this here, and then all he has to do is just plug this in and power it and just put it in the slot that he wants to. So everything is all hooked up and wired. All we got to do now is put the grill back on. So we took this plastic piece off earlier. These will not go back on because you're using that one slot to mount your bracket. So those will stay off. Pretty much we're just gonna throw this grill back on. Pretty simple. All right. Clips. And screws. So this here, as you can see, this is just the headlights, and then this here is with the fog lights. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like in front. Off, on, off, and then on. This is the light bar here. So it's a pretty strong light bar, but it is just shining directly above, or directly in front of the truck. Alright guys, so we did pretty much one install, or we did a couple installs by just taking out the grill. You got the behind the bumper light bar with two options, Cali Raised, Baja, and then while we were in there we got to the fog light, changed out the stock fog light to an OEM style black housing LED fog light. And as we showed you guys, you can also do the Baja fog pockets with that. Everything we did was plug and play, so pretty much you get to pick and choose which lighting you want and just plug it in. And that is pretty much it for today's install video. Let us know which one you guys like better between the two light bars and the two fog lights. But that is it for today's video. Peace.